Finding myself on a plane to Kathmandu was probably one of the least things I expected to do in my life. But here we were, Jeff and myself, about to land on the roof of the world. Arriving in Kathmandu, we found ourselves a hotel on Freak Street. It's a popular hippie hangout from the 60s. We spent a few days in the city of just over 1 million people and made our way to most of the major sites, including the market. There was so much stuff to buy here, and the last thing I expected to do was buy an $800 carpet. But that's just what I did.
Excellent. Here we are, Kathmandu, Nepal. We're second day here. We're trying to organise our trip to Everest Base Camp this state, and I think we'll head away on Monday. So we're going to go for a walk. It's a walking tour through Kathmandu. On to the show.
The old city of Kathmandu is noted for its many Buddhist and Hindu temples, most dating back to the 17th century. Many of these landmarks have been damaged by earthquakes and pollution. And like most places in Asia that we've travelled, Nepal didn't feel that much different. Restaurants, hotels and transport all had that familiar look and feel to them. Walking around the old city was a real experience. It was an interesting place. But the main reason for us being here was to hike to Everest Base Camp, so we used our time wisely. Having decided we didn't need a guide or a porter, we thought it would be a good idea to get a guidebook, along with a few other supplies. So we spent the good part of one of our days in Kathmandu decking ourselves out with all the gear we needed. For a trek that would not only test ourselves physically, but mentally as well. With 8 of the world's 10 highest mountain peaks, including Mount Everest at 29,000 feet, Nepal is a tourist destination for hikers and mountain climbers alike. Most people who choose to hike will catch the bus to Juri, and that's an adventure on its own. 60 kilometers on a bus and some 11 hours later, yeah, I said 11 hours, we arrive in Juri.
Here we are, Jiri, as they say in Nepal. We're at the start of the trek for up to Everest Base Camp. Day 1, let it begin.
Our first day on the trail got us a little lost, but we soon found the right path as it took us over the first pass with great views. We headed for Mali, and then Shivalaya for lunch. Hey, something I'd like to point out. Don't order anything fancy on the menu, as everything is made from scratch, including lighting the fire for the oven. An hour later I got my pizza.
Believe this, I'm drinking my fufu valve all the way. Jeff gave me the flu, which doesn't help, but this has taken us since 7 o'clock, 7:30 this morning, and it's now 1:45. We won't be arriving to our destination at, what's it called? Dareli until 3 o'clock, so we've got another hour and a quarter of hell.
Who's nothing? I'm everything.
I made it to Dareli after a hell trip yesterday, which I thought I was going to not make. I never dragged my fufu valve so hard along the ground. Well, we stayed the night here, we had a semi-good sleep, sort of recharged, and we're going to head down to Kenja today and see how we go. It's a pretty steep walk all the way down. Our elevation at the moment is, what are we at?
2,500 metres.
2,500 metres. Excellent.
So day 2 from Dareli to Seti could have been better, with some time spent on the wrong trails. I was hoping this wasn't going to become a habit.
Well, finally we made it to Seti after Dareli. What a hell day, mate. We've been travelling from about 8 o'clock this morning and arrived here just after 4 o'clock. And I'm pretty knackered actually. The last hour would have to be the killer, especially when we took the wrong trail and having to go up a really steep grade. Shit happens. Well, we just finished a Coke and there's a few porters and such like coming up past us looking a bit envious, so I'll film the sunset here and see you tomorrow.
I can't believe these guys carry all that weight like they do. It gives me a stiff neck just watching them. Day 4 and we continue past the prayer wall along a gently rising path to Linjurula Pass. This is the gateway to the Sherpa's solar region and is considered the beginning of the mountains. Wow, and I thought I was already in the mountains. I have no idea what Jeff is ranting about, probably needing a bowl of milk or something like that. The hike down from the other side of the pass soon gives way to a beautiful old-growth forest. And now out of the wind, we take a chance to recharge and check our location on the map. With nowhere to stop for lunch, we continued on to Junbesi, feeling a little lightheaded due to the altitude. We both paced ourselves into a strong headwind.
just made it over the pass and heading down now into Junbesi for the night. Right, just about lunch right now. Need a feed. Excellent.
The next day took us from Junbesi to Nuntala along a very steep, slippery trail.
Well, after a hard day's walking from Junbesi, here we are at Nuntala. We're actually in the Nuntala's power station, or powerhouse. They run a pipe down off the mountain. It's hydroelectric, three-phase generator. They also run their wheat mill, circular saw. It looks like the old wood plane up here as well. Pretty innovative.
Innovated indeed, but I don't know how many homes you could run off this power supply. But what did impress me was when they turned on the mill. Before this hydro system came along, I can only guess that the wheat was ground by more, well, laborious means. I was pretty impressed by what I'd seen in Nuntala. What a great use of hydropower. However, that was probably the most entertaining part of the town, as the main street didn't have that much to offer us.
Here we are, Main Street in Nuntala.
Excellent.
Check out the place we're staying out. Pretty classy.
Our hotel had to be 5-star, but I could see the hotel's extension was going to be a while before it was built. There are no roads up into these mountains. Everything has to be trekked in by foot.
Inside the typical guest house. Well, now I venture up the stairs. Classy wooden hallway. Quite newly constructed. Into our boudoir with mountain views. Right now things are getting a little boring, so I decided to do a bit of carving on my stick. The poo stick.
Now this may seem a little bit weird, but my nickname was Pooh, for reasons, well, I might get into later. But when you're bored and there's nothing to read and there's no TV, carving your name into the side of a stick, well, it's kind of entertaining. So there you have it, a true work of art. I wonder where it's displayed today. The next morning we hit the trail to Namche Bazar. We'd be staying there a few days. But along the way, just out of Nuntala, we came across this long swing bridge. This newer bridge was built over that old one, which must surely please the locals.
That was probably one of the longest swing bridges I've been on. It's quite a length, and crosses this valley. Now we head north, up towards Pakting, Namche Bazar, and on.
By the time we reached Namche, the poo stories were unveiling. With Jeff having giardia, he was not well, and the toilets were like a minefield, if you get my drift. And I had the misfortune, without a toilet in sight, of falling in my own nugget pile. But then, alas, the sun shined on me and a yak train came up the hill, providing somewhat a hairy hand towel.
Hello.